Uh-oh, hold on.
Nope, it's live already. It's too
Oh,
late.
crap. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back.
Welcome to our
With me, as always, is my co-host, the greatest co-host in the world, Mike the Pig Crum. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Ready to, it's nice to have a bye week. At least that's what the Patriots thought.
Oh, boy. Yeah, they were sadly mistaken there, Mike.
Yeah, we better not make that same mistake coming up.
You know what's funny? It's that I thought we were going to make that same mistake against the Lions. I guess I've still got that Garrett flu, if whatever you want to call it, where I keep thinking that the Cowboys are going to overlook a team and not come in prepared and stuff like that. That Garrett influence is still kind of has an effect on me.
Hey, it was warranted. The Lions were coming off a bye. Dak hadn't played in 5 weeks. The Lions were 1 yard away, like an inch away from going up 10. What would it have been? Like 13-10 or something in the fourth quarter. I think it was 10-6 Dallas. So they were about to take a lead. So, in the fourth. So, the defense just happened to go crazy. And I think that's the one thing we have to get used to. He's used to that. He's had a few of those Bears defenses that have been just like, no matter what happens, they'll score you a touchdown. They'll do something and you'll be like, Jesus, how are we in this game? And I felt like the Dallas play on the 1 yard line was one of those type of plays where they caused the fumble and recovered. It was one of those old school type of plays.
Yes, sir. Well, Mike, before we get into our discussion tonight, remind the people where they can find you on Twitter, sir.
At CD Piglet, guys, nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Well, Mike, here we are with episode 2 of Offsides. We haven't had too many guests this season, unfortunately, but hey, tonight, this might be the best guest of all time. With us tonight is the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of Mike the Pig Crum. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Roger Crum. Roger, how are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
And Roger, I assume you don't have a Twitter, but I don't want to be rude, so I'll ask, where can we find you on Twitter?
No Twitter.
It's no idea the social media at all.
Not at all.
Roger, that's a smart way to live, sir.
It's a lot easier.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Roger, let's go ahead and get right after it, sir. When you look at this matchup, are you rooting for Dallas or Chicago? I see the shirt there, but, I'm curious.
Well, I would like Bears to win, but Dallas's defense is so awesome. I don't know. I think Dallas is going to get them. But if the Bears happen to win, I won't be disappointed. But as Michael knows, I was a Dallas Cowboys fan my whole teenage life up to about when I was 70.
And, oh, really? Okay.
So, yes. So if they win, I'm there. I'm my favorite two team, Bear Dallas.
And what caused that switch? He was a Dallas fan till he was 17.
Yeah.
And
then what happened? What changed?
70s, about 70.
In the 70s, what changed that for you?
What happened was when you get married at my age, you would have to ask the dad for the hand in marriage for his daughter. And he is from Chicago. And the only thing he asked me was, are you a Bears fan? And I said, well, I am now. And that was and I've been one since. But there's a little bit for Dallas that, I still, I'm the Tom Landry era, Dallas dominated, Staubach. I'm still there. But
yes,
I'd like the Bears to beat them, but I just can't see it. But their defense is so awesome, Dallas's defense.
I'm a sucker for the underdog, so I always find myself rooting for, teams like the Bears.
Yeah.
Bears are my second favorite team. We're switched there, but it just makes me laugh that, like, my mom is the reason my dad went from a Cowboys fan to a Bears fan. Like, that's the love right there. Like,
well, I couldn't marry her if I didn't.
Right.
So
that's it. My granddad was like that too.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He'd have been like, no.
Yeah.
All right. I know my dad's not going to be one that'll want to stay on the whole time with us, so I want to do a score prediction. Who do you think is going to win? Give us a score.
Well, I think that Dallas is going to win. I would say 21-14.
Okay. That seems about right.
Yeah. I think I was a little higher until last game when the Bears scored 33. And I'm going, they played a little better. But, the Bears are so young. And really good guy we got is Smith. Roquan Smith. How do you say his name? Roquan Smith. And sometimes I think, God, I wish Dallas had him because they would be. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
He told me it was like if Dallas had Roquan Smith and Michael Parsons, what would you do?
Oh,
Lord.
That guy is just unbelievable. He's the reason why we're kind of where we are.
Yeah.
Watch him. He is awesome. He is. It's one of the best I've ever seen.
We might have a version of Roquan Smith with Damone Clark. Hey, you never know.
Oh, exactly.
I hope.
Can you imagine him in that mix with Dallas? Geez.
All right, get out of here.
Okay. Hey, nice seeing you.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Mr. Crum.
I hope we kick your ass, really.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you.
Thanks, Bob.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Crum, the
now
banana pudding legend.
Hey, sorry about the banana pudding, Pop. I apologize, man. That girl was really hot, dude.
That's okay.
Oh, so Mike, here we'll move along here. We were actually live recording a show, and you were kind of updating everybody on the score. But were you surprised by the Bears' victory over New England?
Yeah, hell, I didn't even turn the game on until we got on the pod, and I was like, I could put this on mute. I actually want to watch wrestling, but I don't want to watch this stupid game. And I turn it on, and I'm like, damn, the Bears are whooping their ass. I can't believe it. And New England, pardon me, guys, my glasses are dirty as hell. New England was playing well up to that point. And they like if they would have beat Tampa how Tampa's playing or Green Bay how Green Bay's playing, you'd be like, well, those teams are playing bad. But like New England had won 2 straight, and Zappe was the talk of the league. And the Bears just whooped their ass. And the way they did it running on a Bill Belichick team, like, it was impressive.
Caught them off guard. I feel like the Patriots kind of shot themselves in the foot, though, because Mac's in there for a series and he throws an interception and immediately gets benched. It's like, a bit of an overreaction. You definitely don't see Bill Belichick do things like that. So I don't know, not trying to discredit the Bears, because I was looking over at their schedule, and when you look at it, they had prior to Monday night's game, they'd lost 3 games in a row by one single digit scores, and in a couple of those games they were up in the fourth quarter. So I think they're better than their record states. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely surprised to be New England like that in their own house, like you said, to run the ball the way that they did. But I kind of feel like they're starting to turn the corner here, Mike.
Yeah, I'm happy for my Pop. They have building blocks that you could see if they could work around, that they could be good in the future. But I didn't watch the highlights of the game. I just kind of flipped on and was like, oh shit, the Bears are killing them. I'll tell you a little secret. My dad didn't even see it. He forgot they played Monday night, and he was like, they were playing New England. And so he had to watch a game replay of it afterwards because he saw the score and he was like, God dang it, I missed the damn game. He's that age now. So especially when the team's not great, he's like, I don't need to like be, oh my God, what's happening, and be all stressed out. But he saw it and he was shocked when he saw the score and was like, oh my God, they beat New England.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to tell your dad before he got off, but I kind of feel his pain because he married somebody and had to become a Bears fan. Well, I didn't become a Giants fan, but I married somebody who was a fan of Eli Manning and the New York Giants. So I kind of know what that's like.
Rough. You had to do it to it with a division rival. Like,
I know.
Man, that's worse. At least for him, it was like, Bears, who are they're different division. I don't hate them or anything.
Right. Mike, I stated this just a couple of minutes ago, but you look at the Bears. Do you think that they are better than their record?
I actually think they might be worse than their record, like talent wise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't. I think they're really young. They got a ways to go, but their coaching is really good. So it's like they're elevating them through their game plan and everything. It kind of reminds me of the Giants, like Daniel Jones, no Galladay, no. They just got rid of Tony. Like they weren't really using anybody, and they're 6-1, and it's like, well, yeah, they haven't beat anybody, but they're the team that normally other teams beat. And their talent hasn't really changed. Same as the Bears. They haven't gotten much better, but their coaching is they're keeping them in games, and then you find a way to win games late. And I feel like the Bears are doing that. And when they get a more talented roster that can match the coaching, they could be a team to watch out for in the next 2-3 years.
Like kind of, when you say all that, Mike, it sounds like an early version of the Jason Garrett Cowboys, where there wasn't a lot of talent, but Garrett was kind of ahead of the game. We had a good quarterback play. We had a solid defense and a really good run game. So that kind of sounds like the Bears.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Now, hopefully, they have a better GM than we did this whole time.
Oh, got it. They fired their bad version of the GM and Ryan Pace, so it looks like this new guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree. Man, if we could just fire ours. Please.
Somebody on Twitter posted that what the Bears have. They have like 7 draft picks in next year's draft class, and they have like 140 million in cap space. So, team to watch out for.
With a young quarterback, if they could go out, get a wide receiver, 1 or 2 offensive linemen, and an edge rusher, could be a team in the end. And at that same time, Aaron Rodgers doesn't look as good in Green Bay.
Yeah.
The Vikings have Kirk Cousins, so they're going to be nothing that can't be beaten. They'll be good, but nothing that can't be beaten if that's your quarterback. And hell, I don't even remember the other team.
Lions.
Yeah, the Lions. I mean, they've been down so long. I really like the Lions. I love Dan Campbell and where the direction's going. But again, Jared Goff, like until they get a quarterback, who knows? So if the Bears spend some money and use their draft picks wisely, the next 3 years could be a nice little run for them.
You mentioned offensive lineman. It's kind of crazy to think that they drafted that right tackle out of Oklahoma State, Trayvon Jenkins. It doesn't seem like he's been able to do much, but man, he was such a mauler and a monster. It's crazy how that's all worked out.
Yeah, it's like they moved him too much. Like, he's kind of a tweener. He's not really strong enough to be a guard, but he's not long enough to be a tackle. And so that, it's kind of trying to find the right spot for him. Maybe a bad offensive line coach that doesn't go to his strengths. That could be it. Because I loved him in college.
Yeah. Mikey, we're talking about the future of the Bears there. It sounds like you think that Justin Fields might be the quarterback of the future. Is that fair to say?
I would go undecided right now, only because, and I know it's a cop-out, but you could see that he has the tools. This is the issue. Like, he's mobile. He's got a good arm. Like stuff that it doesn't bother him getting hit, which is a big thing because he's going to get it a lot. It doesn't seem to impact him. But right now, like he's like, is he even averaging 200 yards throwing a game? Like he just doesn't have the tools to show anything. Like Mooney on a great offense is a wide receiver 3 on a great offense, And so to have him as your wide receiver 1, and then Cole Kmet looks like he could be good, but he's young. They got a couple of good backs, but their O-line isn't great. You mentioned Jenkins already was a first or second round pick. I can't remember if he did go in the first.
I believe it was second, but don't quote me on that.
I know it's top 50.
Yeah.
They're trying to rework that, but they just don't. They don't have the tools for you to go, oh yeah, like he's playing poorly or inconsistently because he's not good. Well, no, we don't know that. He just doesn't have people that get open. He doesn't have people that block for him often. He has a great running game, and he adds to that, which is a big plus. But we got to get him more tools and a better O-line to see what he can do throwing the ball.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Mike. I kind of feel like it's similar to maybe the Cardinal situation where it's a new coaching staff. Fields wasn't their guy, where you don't really – it's hard to evaluate him, like you said, because the pieces aren't there. But like if they have a top 5 pick and a quarterback falls to him, maybe somebody like more, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to trade Fields to get even more draft capital and draft a guy that they like more. But just to answer this question, I mean, I'd like to think that he is, because he has all the tools to be a franchise quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like he's a plus Jalen Hurts. Like if you get him AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, a great offensive line, good defense and everything.
Right.
And he could run like Jalen Hurts, but then he has a little bit more ability with his arm and ability throwing the football and reading a little bit better. So I feel like, the Eagles are 6-0 with Jalen Hurts, who I've always thought would be a good backup, but never be a really good enough starting quarterback. And I feel like Justin Fields could be better than that, but the Bears don't have that type of team around him.
Very fair, very fair. Looking at this Bears team, Mike, I know that they don't have a lot of talent, but when you look at the talent they do have, who is somebody you think that Dallas needs to keep their eye on?
I think my dad had it nailed. Roquan Smith is there. That's the guy. I mean, leading the league in tackles right now. He's never had under 100 tackles in a year, even the year where his season got cut short by injury. He had 163 last year. He adds stuff as a blitzer. He's good in pass coverage. He already has 2.5 sacks, a couple interceptions, 3 pass deflections. Like, he is the best linebacker in football if you consider Micah Parsons an edge, which he's. I think Parsons, they said, has played 90 snaps at linebacker this year. Like, he's an edge defender that they shift to linebacker occasionally. But if you're going straight linebacker, Roquan Smith's probably the best in the game right now. He's a monster.
Yeah, for me, Mike, I'm going to go with Justin Fields, actually. We know what he can do as a passer, but we've also seen him make a lot of his plays with his legs. His mobility has really been used as a weapon by the Bears coaching staff. And we kind of saw what happened when we went up against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, when they have a mobile quarterback and then they have the running back in Miles Sanders. Well, the Bears have 2 good running backs in Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery. So Justin Fields is somebody I'm worried about, because if they have a solid defense, not great defense, but if they can kind of sustain drives with their rushing attack, I feel like this could be a long, drawn-out, ugly game, and could maybe not be in the Cowboys' favor.
It sounds like you read my latest article coming out on Cowboys Wire. Keys to victory. Cowboys Bears should drop. Today. Should drop sometime today, if not in the morning. Who's better, Khalil Herbert or David Montgomery?
Oh gosh, I really am a big fan of David Montgomery, but I feel like there's a different gear with Khalil Herbert. He's got that big playability. He's just shifty. I don't know. He just seems like a better runner. Am I wrong?
No, I don't disagree, David. You know what's funny is David Montgomery is obviously a lot more productive running the ball, maybe system-wise. I don't know why, but it does feel kind of like Zeke Pollard. Like Montgomery's a bit better all-around back, and Khalil Herbert's more of the big play back.
Well, it just kind of goes to show that, when Montgomery was injured last year, we saw Khalil Herbert fill the void, become a starter, and he ran for over 100 yards against that elite defensive line that Tampa Bay had last year. So every time he's got an opportunity to carry the load, he's done a good job. So, it's a good debate.
Yeah, I'd have loved to have that nugget. What was it? Fantasy thing?
Oh God, yeah.
I'd have Tua, Herbert, Dak now coming back up, and I had Elijah Mitchell's hurt, but I had him. I had Herbert, and that team would have been pretty nasty this year.
Yeah, sure would have. Shout out to Nugget, man. Miss you, bro. I hope you're doing well.
Yes, sir.
Mike, do you think that the Bears rushing attack can exploit this Cowboys run defense? I know we made an addition this week, but still looking overall at the situation.
I think 20-20, they can have success between the 20s, because most teams have. Dallas is 20th ranked in rush defense. They're nothing special against the run. They get you to third down, and they eliminate you on third down with an elite pass rush and playmaking DBs. And so, yeah, I think when going 20-20, that the running game will do really well for the Bears. I think that they'll scheme a lot of stuff that works. And then once it's time to clamp down in the red zone, Dallas will be able to do what they have to do. I think the Bears are going to struggle in the red zone. I'm going to go get
Yeah.
ice cream.
Dude, I heard a crazy story about the ice cream man, the ice cream trucks song, the original like version. It has like some racist I don't want to say undertones. I mean, it was just like a racist song. Have you ever heard that story?
No, no.
Yes. Yeah, it's like the story of the ice cream truck song. I'll have to. Well, somebody sent it. I saw somebody talking about it on Twitter. They sent me the story, so I'll try to find it. I'll send it to you. But it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I want to hear that. That's interesting. Yeah, I never heard anything like that.
But if you were to go to the ice cream truck, what would you get?
Damn, that's okay. So, God, I'm such a.
That should be a top 5, dude. We'll have to do that in the top 5.
Here's my issue. Is that I see the ice cream truck ice cream a lot like Red Baron frozen pizza. Like I know, guys, I know it's ice cream, it's pizza, it should all be good, but I'm like, I want ampersands and cold stones and like those specialty ones where they make it right in front of you, because for me, being diabetic, it's like a treat. So like I wait for the ampersands flavors, the unique flavors of the month to come out. And then I go over there and try the little spoons. And then I pick like one that I really like. Mm-hmm. And then I have that. And I basically get one ice cream a month. So if you were having 1 to say 3 ice creams a month, you don't want the ice cream, you want you want to be at Disneyland and get some crazy sundae and so I'm a food snob. I actually feel bad about it. I'm like, all the kids that eat ice cream, I'm like, your ice cream sucks. And it's not like that. It's just I can't have it a lot because I'm diabetic.
So, I mean, growing up, would you ever go to the ice cream truck and get something, or like get those little bubblegum cigarettes or anything?
Bro, I was Choco Taco.
Oh God, dude!
All day, love those. I love the fudge banana fudge missile pops.
Oh man, yeah.
And the snow cone, because I was a cookies and cream fiend growing up. So those snow cones were all day. So yeah, I ate a lot of ice cream from an ice cream truck growing up. I ate a lot of food out of a truck. Me and my dad. He still works there, a moving company. So we would go 48 states. And you ate a lot out of food trucks. We called them garbage trucks back then. Now they're everywhere. Like they're huge now. Like a lot of chefs are more food truck than they are brick and mortar even.
Right.
And yeah, we used to eat a lot out of the garbage trucks and the ice cream trucks. So I'm just spoiled now that I'm diabetic and I can have very rare, ice cream here and there. I want like gourmet, like olive oil, sea salt, and pistachio vanilla soft serve from Manesso's Pizzeria. Like I want that ice cream.
That sounds phenomenal. My number 1 pick, I pull up if I ever catch the ice cream truck. It's always the strawberry shortcake, dude.
Oh, that's good, dude.
There's good.
Legit. There's at Disneyland, downtown Disney. There's a place called Black Tap burgers or Black Craft burgers or something like that. And they have these crazy shakes. Well, the strawberry version of the shake, like they have ones with a piece of cake on it. They have ones with a big Oreo cookie sandwich. The strawberry version has one of those strawberry cake popsicles dipped in the shake that you pull out and eat besides the shake, which
dude. That sounds totally amazing. All right, Mike, let's get back to some football talk here. It sounds like Tony Pollard might be getting the start. Is our offense getting a boost with Pollard starting?
I'm going to surprise a lot of people and say no, and a lot of it has to do with the mentality of Dak Prescott. He trusts Zeke, in pass protection.
Yeah, that's
and I think Tony Pollard, he kind of like worries about it, or is a little bit quicker clock, or his mind isn't focused all the way because he's like, all right, is this guy going to pick up the right guy?
Yeah.
Running wise, I think, yeah, he's much more efficient. And maybe over a season, you could argue that he'd wear down. But in one game, given Tony Pollard 25 touches, is not going to be an issue. He should have many big runs if that's the case. So rushing wise, I think it gives him a boost. But on third downs, when I need somebody to make sure to hit that blitz pickup, keep drives going, that worries me. He's not as good at it. So yeah, I think it has an opposite effect. I am not for paying Zeke that much money. Y'all know that, but that doesn't mean we don't talk about where he's valued and short yardage and pass protection and just the mindset he brings to the offense for Dak and for the offensive line and everything. It means a lot. And so, no, he's not worth the contract, but no, he's not just easily replaceable either. And that's the balance of it. That's what makes it so tough is, okay, yeah, we want to get him out of there, but also our front office doesn't spend money. So you're getting rid of $15 million to bring in what? And is what is brought in with that $15 million, because they're not going to spend it all on one big name player. Like if you were telling me they're going to spend 12 of the 15 million and go get you a Roquan Smith, or whatever, then that's one thing. But you're going to get three, players, Dante Fowler, two other guys that are in there, LVE and an Anthony Barr that help, but they're not great players. They're replaceable players. And on the other side, the mentality of Dak, he loses his friend, he loses somebody he trusts. Like, it's a more delicate balance than people think of. Just, well, Zeke will be gone next year. Let's see. Let's just see. I'm not against it. I don't think he should be making that much money, but you got to tell me what we're going to do with the money. It's like when they say, well, Dak should take a discount. Well, why? What are they going to spend it? If they're going to spend the money, sure, I'd be for it. If not, pay the damn quarterback.
Yeah, for me, Mike, you bring up a good point about the pass protection. Of course, Zeke and Dak, they have that trust together. I do kind of think it'll give us our offensive boost only because I want to see, I feel like it will force Kellen Moore to get a little bit more creative. Will we kind of maybe use a hurry up offense and use Pollard more as a receiver? Will we get a little bit more creative with this play calling? Because I mentioned earlier that the Bears, I feel like they've got an underrated defense. We'll discuss that more here in a little bit, but I gives us a boost only because I feel like it's going to make Kellen Moore kind of go back to his creative ways.
I makes sense, and I could totally see that, but I could see the flip side of him going, can't trust this guy in pass protection. They may they may pull it back. Hey, keep an extra tight end in. Let's do a little bit more conservative play calling because we don't want to open it up to get our quarterback hit more. So I could see it both ways. It wouldn't surprise me if they looked better with Tony Pollard in there, especially for a game. He's not going to wear down in a game or two. If they give Zeke the NFC North off, and the bye week and the 2 games after, Zeke is there, I think Pollard in the run game will look better. It's as he takes the beating, 6, 7, 8 games from now is where I would worry the ill effects on Pollard if Zeke's not there to take the inside runs.
Yeah, give me Pollard for the playoff, for the path to the playoffs, and then give me Zeke in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm there. Yep, I agree.
So, Mike, I was talking about this Bears secondary. You look at it, they've only allowed 5 passing TDs, and they've had 8 interceptions on the year, and I believe they're top 5 in passing yards allowed. Do you think that Dak and Kellen will have a hard time passing the ball against the Chicago secondary?
I don't. It's okay. So, what do you consider if they did exactly what they did last week? Efficient, 75% completion percentage. You had I think over 100 QB rating, but only 200 yards. Was 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Do Do you consider that struggling? Do you consider that a good game? If he did that exact thing to the Bears, what would you call that type of game?
I would say, okay, if Dak has that type of game and we win the way we won, it's like, okay, our defense did our job, our run game did our job. We didn't really need Dak to have a lights out game, so I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't consider that a struggle. I would be like, man, it'd be nice to see him have more yards. Of course, you want to see us put up more points. You want CeeDee Lamb to have 100 yards and all that. But no, I wouldn't consider that a struggle game. How about you?
Then, yeah, I wouldn't. But I wanted to make sure I said I don't think he'd struggle. I think Dak and them would be fine if they took away the run and Dallas had to pass. I think Dak would probably go something like 240, two picks, maybe one turnover.
Yeah.
A quarterback rating in the 90s plus and a 70% completion percentage. I think he'd be fine. They're still young and they're good, but if our defense does what's expected and kind of gets Bears off the field on third down, I think eventually Bears defense will break under the pressure of Dallas's offense.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Well, we were talking about our run game, Mike, but let's just say we're having a difficult time running the ball with Pollard. Could you see our offense overall struggling to get going if our run game is limited?
I don't, just because I think Dak should be enough. Like our defense is so good that 24-6 happens when the Lions were about to go ahead with under 13 minutes left in the fourth. The Lions were about to go ahead, and then the defense, boom, 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 4 straight turnovers, and Dallas wins 24-6. I just think that with this defense, even if they can't run, Dak will be able to do enough to win the game.
So you kind of answered this next question here, Mike. Will Dak or our defense have to win this game, you think?
The defense. The defense has 2 goals. One is to stop the run.
Yeah.
And then once they do that and Fields has to pass, get turnovers when they're offered. Get the strip sack, recover the fumble. Don't drop the interception because he's going to throw you one, if he's under pressure like he's going to be here coming up. It's funny, Detroit in 5 or 6 games had given up 7 total sacks, and we sacked them 5 times. And this is one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And they're monsters, dude. This pass rush is nasty. And they're bringing in another guy that's going to open up. Everybody thinks Haskins run stop, and very true. Him and Bohanna and Watkins are there to stop the run, but they also eat up blocks, which allow blitzers like Donovan Wilson to get in. Last week, Micah for his position, LVE, Curse. And I think big bodies like that, people that you have to account for in the blocking scheme, just open things up for your other pass rushers. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which of our defensive linemen eats this week. Going back to the question here about Dak or our defense having to win this game, I do think whoever wins the turnover battle will win this game. And I with our defense, we've seen how we can create turnovers, and I have a pretty good feeling that we'll win that battle. And I don't think it's going to be a shootout. So yeah, I'm with you, Mike. It's going to be our defense this week.
I agree.
But when you look at this matchup, the Bears coming off a big win, Dallas having a bye, kind of dealing with some players who are banged up, would you be surprised at all if Dallas were to lose this game?
To be honest with you, I'd be pretty shocked. The reasons being, one, they're coming off a bye week, they're coming off a short week. They had to travel. We're sitting at home, and like I've said a million times on this podcast, they're human beings. That extra day matters. That extra travel matters. They're also going to be a kind of exhale. Like, this isn't a team that's playing for Super Bowls. So going on Monday night into New England and getting a win is like a signature moment. And so now they're kind of gonna, okay, we did that. Like, we went in and beat them on Monday night. Okay. Like, they're going to be celebrating a little bit. They're going to be feeling themselves a little bit. And so they did something. And typically after that, it's like the opposite of when you get embarrassed. And Pittsburgh got embarrassed, and they come out and beat Tampa Bay the next week with no Minkah Fitzpatrick, no starting corners, no TJ Watt. Like, you're like, how the hell did that happen? The mentality of the team. And when you look at this, I think the Bears are kind of going to be like, all right, we didn't get embarrassed Monday night. We went out there, we kicked their butt. Like, we accomplished something this week. And then the Dallas going to kind of come in and wake up call them. It feels like it should be that type of game.
Yeah, like you, Mike, I would be surprised just because of the imbalance of talent, that the Cowboys have over the Bears. That being said, I just, you come off a big win like that on Monday night, the Bears kind of getting their first signature win of the season. And then they're, they've got momentum, they're hungry, they're young and everything, like you said. I do think that they could come out kind of and maybe hit us in the mouth early. Not saying that that's going to be the difference maker, but I could see them kind of coming out ready to go, and maybe Dallas is kind of slowly get going. I would be surprised if we lost this game, but afterwards, after like looking over everything, I could kind of see myself being like, what, I was surprised that we lost, but looking at all these other things, it's not that surprising.
I love when Paul sets me up without even knowing to plug my article. But the keys to victory that I have in my article is points differential. And the reason I put that is the same thing you're saying. If they hang around, they have kind of a playmaker at the quarterback. They have a running game that can wear a defense down. Yep. They have a guy like Roquan Smith and Brisker that can make some plays on defense. And
Kyle Fuller.
Their kicker is great. He hasn't missed a kick from 50 yards. He hasn't missed a kick, period. He's 4 for 4 from 50 to 60 yards. If you give him, Santos, Cario Santos, something like that. You give him a chance to win a game with a 53-yard field goal in Dallas Stadium with no wind, and he gonna beat you.
Yeah.
So I want this team to be up by a couple touchdowns in the fourth.
Well, Mike, that's a perfect lead to this next one. You want us to win by a couple touchdowns. What's your score prediction for the week?
I'm going to go a higher score than people think, especially considering how good our defense is. I still think they hold under 20. They hold the Bears to 19 points. A lot of field goals, maybe one touchdown and 1, 2, 3, 4 field goals. So they score a few times with their run game and stuff. But I think Dallas puts on 33 points. Defense sets up a score with a turnover. I think Turpin sets up a score if he doesn't score himself with a return. And that's 14 points right there. So you're talking, another 23 scores for Dak to put up. I could see that. So I'm going to go 33-19 Dallas.
I don't hate that at all. Your dad had it at 21-14, correct? I'm going to go I think it's going to be 27-20 Dallas. I think we have a good lead, a double-digit lead for most of the game, and then the Bears kind of score late to make it look better than it is. But 27-20 Dallas.
Yeah, this feels like one of those games where Justin Fields hits Mooney over Diggs, and then everybody's like, Diggs is trash. But it's like one of 2 receptions he gave up for, the other one was 3 more yards, and he probably picks one off. And everybody's like, oh, see, he gets burned all the time. And it's like, well, I mean, we were up 3 scores. Like, it really wasn't that big of a deal type of thing. So, yeah, I can see Bears putting up a few more scores than I think will freak out something like, oh, man, we got to play Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields was marching up and down for scores on us. It feels like that type of where we might go a little vanilla until we have to type of game. So I'm interested to see how that plays out.
If the final score was 15-14, would you think the Cowboys won or the Bears won, out of curiosity?
Ooh. 15. I'd still take Dallas, but That's the type of game that I would be like. If you tell me 33-19, I'm instantly going, oh, Dallas beat them. You
Yeah,
tell
exactly.
me 15-14, I'm like,
I need to
yeah,
get to a
it's
TV.
50.
I need to look at Twitter right now.
Yes, bingo.
Well, Mike, man, I'm glad we got to do our second offside of the season, but man, I'm glad your dad got to come on. I know that it was a little shorter of a guest appearance than usual, but man, that was really cool for your dad to come on.
Yeah, man, Bears fan, and he knows them, but like that type of like he knows Roquan Smith, but he's not like Roquan Smith. He's like Smith. Oh yeah, he's that type right now because he's grown up he's been a Dodger fan, Dallas, Lakers, Bears. And so even though his football teams haven't been winning, he's used to Dodgers winning, he's used to Lakers winning. And so a team like the Bears, he's not dumb enough to be like, this is our year. Like he knows. So he's kind of like, okay, I'm going to follow them, see which guys are going to be. But I know this team's a couple years away. So he wasn't one that was going to come on and you're like, so what do you think is the nuance of this matchup? And he would be like, I don't know. I'm not watching that closely. Like I need a couple more years before I'm following like every player and what all they're doing.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say not trying to give away your dad's age, but he mentioned how long he's been when he was a fan of the Cowboys and everything. He looks great for his age, sir.
Bro, I'm not even joking. Just in the last 2 years, he started to look like, oh, okay, he's in his 50s. He's starting to get to like where you want to eat more or whatever the hell you want to eat, like going out to eat more, and he's working less. And, it's you can see, but I'm telling you 2 years ago, like he was looking like around my age. And I'm like, damn, dude, stop. Like you're like pushing that where people think you're in your 50s and people are like, this dude's your kid, not your brother.
Right.
For real.
Well, again, thank you, Roger Crum. Shout out to Roger Crum. Mike, before we get you out of here, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
Easy, guys. Letter C, letter D, Piglet, CD Piglet.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Look at us.